Assalamualikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This video brought to you by Group 1 ENGL 1346 Section 1. The relationship between effects of psychological stress and COVID-19 pandemic amongst KIRKHS undergraduates in IIUM Gombak. In this animation video, we will be discussing about the abstract, introduction, objective or thesis statement, discussion, limitation, and as well as the conclusion of the whole research and study. According to Lazarus and Folkman 1984, psychological stress is defined as a condition where a person is considered to be exceeding his or her capabilities that leads to the endanger of their well-being. Moving on to the first context of the video, the abstract, this study is aimed to investigate the effects of psychological stress caused by the COVID-19 pandemic amongst KIRKHS undergraduates in IIUM Gombak. Thus, an online survey has been conducted to collect the data needed from the respondents.
Nowadays, being stressed is not a foreign matter anymore, as everyone has to go through this condition every now and then. Psychological stress, by definition, is an emotional and physiological reaction of person when he encounters a situation that out of his coping resources. Many studies have reported that university students are the most likely to encounter psychological stress. This is the major factor of the decreasing academic performance among the students. The first detected case in Malaysia was on January 2020. Since the numbers of cases keep increasing, the government was compelled to deter the infection by implementing a movement control order (MCO). This abrupt change of lifestyle has influenced and affected people negatively. This paper is going to take a look in depth on the students because they also facing a hard time, and these circumstances were linked to the decrease in students' mental health states.
So the objective is to identify the effect of psychological stress associated with COVID-19 pandemic amongst KIRKHS undergraduates in IIUM Gombak Campus.
Next, the results prepared by Fatiha Irdina. In the survey conducted, the sample consisted of 30 first and second year KIRKHS students in IIUM Gombak Campus. Let's take a look at the factors leading to psychological stress.
Social interaction, work overload, environment, and employment.
Next, common impacts of stress are
Anxious, restlessness, disconnected.
Moving on, what are the effects of psychological stress?
Stress relief, sleeping patterns, mental health.
So after all that stress, how do we cope with it?
Binge watch Netflix, sleep, eating, online shopping, jog.
An extra fact, over 20x students
Prone to crankiness, quieter than usual, demotivated to study.
What can we do to solve this problem? In future research, we can maximize coping skills, implement ethical task management, and have empathy towards each other.
Next, we are going to talk about limitations or shortcomings. The number of female and male respondents are imbalanced, whereby there are 83.3% of female students while the rest are male students. Moreover, the KIRKHS students live in different environments. They either live on campus or off campus, taking different courses, and either local or international students. Next, the questionnaires. Some respondents did not answer it specifically, since the question required the respondents to give longer answers. We will be presenting on the recommendation for how to carry out the assessment. We have a lot of platforms that we can use to carry out the research or survey. Make sure to know what is the purpose of the survey first, then you can choose which platform that best suits your work. One of the best platform or website to use in order to conduct the survey is SurveyMonkey, as they use a non-probability sample to carry out the survey. Another reason why SurveyMonkey is good is because they have a system in which 1 hour goals have been reached. For example, when we set the survey to be answered by 50 people and it's reached that limit, then the survey will automatically close. From this situation, the man is explaining something using high-level words which will result in people not being able to understand what is being delivered. In this case, if we were to use words that are not easy to be understood by others, they will have a hard time answering our questions for the survey. Therefore, it is best to use simple words when conducting surveys and questionnaires so that people can easily understand it, and hence there will be a higher number of participation by everyone for the survey. Lastly, there are many more platforms that can be used to carry out the survey, such as YouGov, Survey Planet, and JobForm.